Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfarhana Jamaluddin. Me as a student A.
Hello, my name is Nurul Binti AZAMI. I am a student B. Assalamualaikum everyone. Okay, my name is SYAFIQAH binti ZAKARIA. I am a student C.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Izzah. I'm the student D.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nurul Izzah Binti Gazman. I am student E, Leisure Coordinator.
Let me start with you, Nabila. How is your part going so far? Maybe I can get an update from you about accommodation and transportation.
Okay, let me start first. As a travel consultant, I will meet with clients to discuss their travel need in the upcoming travel season. I will be responsible for advising clients on travel options that suit their needs, wants, and capabilities. I also will explain to the tourists about our trip that day. So, back to our agenda today, I will present about accommodation and transportation that what we want to plan for the upcoming tourist season. For the first day, customer will check in at the resort at Bandar Hilir after doing the registration. Customer will stay at this resort until 6 August. This means tourists will return to the resort after doing activities and visiting the place in the schedule as will be told by SYAFIQAH later. And on 7 August, as we know, the planned destination is Pengkalan Balat Beach. So customer will check out of the resort in Bandar Hilir and will stay at the resort at Pengkalan Balat Beach on that day. This is to make it easier for customer when they visit the beach. When they arrive at the resort, I will also explain to them about place and the rules that they should follow while they are staying at the resort. And regarding about transportation, we will provide the companies vans and buses to send customer to places of interest. We will use the bus if we receive a lot of customer on that day, and we will only use the van when we receive a small number of clients to split the number of tourists participating in this store. So the plan is we will see which one are more suitable to use for bring tourists to the place to visit. To the knowledge of you all as well, when buses are in good condition and safe to carry tourists and also can be used in the future. And of course, during the visit, I will tell to customer about the places to be visited to add more fun. That's all from my part.
Well done, Nabila. How about you, Ika? Can you please provide me with what you have done with your itinerary so far? Have you list some places for us to go because we are in the tourist season for 6 days? So I want to know which destination our tourists should go.
Okay, thank you, Farhana. Okay, for the upcoming tourism session as we know it, I show 11 interesting places in Malacca for us to implement for the 6 days. Okay, for the first day, we will provide accommodation for tourists at the resort in Bandar Hilir. That night, we will take tourists to Malacca River Cruise. This is because the night atmosphere at Malacca River Cruise is very beautiful and interesting. Okay, on the second day, the Maritime Museum and Tamisari will be our tourist spots. In the morning, tourists will move to the Maritime Museum to see exhibit artifacts and documents from the glorious era of Malacca. To enjoy the beautiful night atmosphere, tourists will move to Tamisari starting 6 p.m. to see the panorama of Malacca city as a whole, and most importantly, only 3 minutes a drive from the Maritime Museum to Tamisari. For the third day, tourists are still in Bandar Hilir. Therefore, we will take them to the Malacca Botanical Garden and the World Bee Museum. At the Malacca Botanical Garden, tourists will see the Malacca Forestry Museum, Prehistory Park, Storyland, and beautiful picnic spots. While at the World Bee Museum, exhibit around 250 specimens of beehives. Okay, for the next day, tourists will go to Cerana Putih Hot Springs to give tourists the opportunity to experience the natural hot spring pool and the cozy atmosphere. For the fifth day, we will take tourists to Chichi Extreme Theme Park and Joker World. At Chichi Extreme Theme Park is the focus of tourists because there is flight for activity across the lake which is about 100 meters width. In the evening, tourists will walk in the famous night market at Joker World. On the last day, tourists will stop at Melaka Butterfly Garden before continuing their journey to Pekalang Balak Beach. Tourists can see the beautiful garden which is home to a group of animals ranging from beautiful butterflies to snakes, lizards, crocodiles, goldfish, and even a pair of beautiful golden leopards. At Pengakalan Balak Beach for the last night, tourists will hold a BBQ to celebrate their last holiday in Melaka and will sleep at a resort near Pengakalan Balak Beach. Okay, that's all from me about the destination. Thank you.
Job well done, Ika. Now let's hear an update from Sam. Due to the fact that our tourist destinations have 11 places and we take a van and bus, so I was curious in terms of the cost of the vehicle and how many drivers it takes to join this holiday.
Okay, for this question, I will answer you one by one. Firstly, we need 20 people, daily manpower to help with this trip and serve the daily travel methods of tourists. After that, we will given two types of transportation, that is, van and bus. So the tourists can choose which transportation they need for the trip. I suggest one van can have one people to in charge to usher to the tourists. And then I also suggest one bus have two people to in charge to usher the tourists. Next, we will book the hotel and restaurant for this trip as well as purchase the ticket for this trip. So tourists don't need to worry about the reservation and ticketing. And last, we will set the waiting station in front of the travel agency. So tourists needed to waiting at there before starting this trip. So that's all my part. Thank you.
That's good to hear, Sam. For the last one, Izzah, if you don't mind, I would be glad to hear the current state about the food and beverages for during the trip. Please, because I want to know about the cost of food for the holiday and whether the cost of food for tourists in 60 is borne by us or how.
Thank you, Farhana. As a leisure coordinator for food and beverage during the stay and a trip during the holiday in Malacca for 6 days, I will ensure that tourists are not hungry and always give enough food throughout the trip. So during the tourist holiday trip with our company, we will provide enough food as well as popular place to eat in Malacca. During this holiday, they will give 3 times a day to eat. They will eat breakfast, lunch and dinner. During their 6 days in Malacca, the resort Bandar Hilir will provide breakfast to tourists. So every day before tourists go out for a walk, they will have breakfast at Bandar Hilir Resort first. We will provide breakfast with different type of food on a daily basis. While on the way to go somewhere in Malacca, we will prepare side dishes while in the van or bus. We will supply mineral water and bread or biscuit while traveling. However, we will provide side dishes every time tourists go out to go somewhere. This aims to reduce hunger and thirst. These side dishes will give one for each person and do not need to be shared with others. Next, for lunch, we as a leisure coordinator food and beverage will give suggestions for popular place to eat in Malacca according to the place they are going. For example, on their first day heading to the Malacca River cruise, we would suggest eating at a restaurant near the Malacca River. They can dine on food while enjoying the view from the edge of the Melaka River. In addition, we will also provide a food voucher of RM5 for a tourist. This voucher can be redeemed at any restaurant in Melaka. For the next day, we will suggest more popular place to eat in Melaka. Don't worry, we will make sure the shop is halal, cheap, and guarantee satisfaction to our tourists. However, in the Jonker Walk area Chinatown, there is the most famous food in Malacca, which is chicken rice ball dish. After that, for dinner, we at Banda Hilly Resort will prepare food for tourists. If they don't want to eat because they are full, they can pack up to eat in their respective resort room. Therefore, we will always ensure that tourists have enough to eat while on holiday in Malacca with our agency. That's all my description as a leisure coordinator of food and beverage. Thank you.
You are doing great, Izzah. Thank you all for your information. From what I heard, in terms of accommodation and transportation, itinerary, transportation and food and beverages, I would like to suggest that the cost charged for one head is 100 Malaysian ringgit, including the cost of food, vehicle cost, and also the cost of a ticket to get to the place we are going to. Do you agree with my opinion?
Yes, I am
Yeah,
agree.
yes, I agree.
That is good to hear. Thank you all for attending our meeting today. That's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.